Unfiltered Growth, Ditching the Positivity Trap. Written and published by MSC Boost. Chapter 1. The Fallacy of Forced Positivity. In a society that often champions relentless optimism, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that happiness is the only acceptable emotion. We're bombarded with messages urging us to stay positive and look on the bright side, as if acknowledging our struggles and negative feelings is a sign of weakness. However, this unrelenting pursuit of positivity can actually hinder our personal growth and lead to a sense of disconnection from our authentic selves. The truth is, life is a complex tapestry of experiences, and not all of them are pleasant. We face challenges, setbacks, and losses that naturally evoke feelings of sadness, anger, and fear. When we try to suppress these emotions and force ourselves to maintain a facade of positivity, we deny ourselves the opportunity to process and learn from our experiences. We end up bottling up our feelings, which can lead to increased stress, anxiety, and even physical health problems. Moreover, the constant pressure to be positive can create a sense of shame and inadequacy when we inevitably fall short. We may feel like failures for experiencing negative emotions, as if we're not trying hard enough to be happy. This self-judgment only compounds our distress and makes it even harder to cope with life's challenges. The key to true personal growth lies in embracing the full spectrum of human emotions, both positive and negative. When we allow ourselves to feel and acknowledge our struggles, we create space for healing and self-discovery. We can learn valuable lessons about our strengths, weaknesses, and resilience in the face of adversity. By facing our fears and discomfort head-on, we develop the courage and confidence to tackle future challenges with greater ease. This doesn't mean wallowing in negativity or succumbing to despair. Rather, it's about finding a healthy balance between optimism and realism. We can cultivate a positive outlook while still acknowledging and processing our negative experiences. By doing so, we build emotional resilience and develop a more nuanced understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Authentic personal growth requires vulnerability, honesty, and a willingness to confront the darker aspects of our psyche. It means letting go of the need to present a perfect, happy facade to the world, and instead embracing our whole selves, flaws and all. When we do this, we open ourselves up to genuine connection with others, as we allow them to see and accept us as we truly are. The path to unfiltered growth is not always easy or comfortable. It requires courage, self-reflection, and a commitment to facing our fears and insecurities. However, the rewards are immeasurable. By ditching the positivity trap and embracing the full range of our emotions, we can unlock our true potential and live a more authentic, fulfilling life. As you embark on this journey of unfiltered growth, be gentle with yourself. Recognize that progress is often non-linear, and that setbacks are a natural part of the process. Celebrate your successes, no matter how small, and use your challenges as opportunities for learning and growth. Remember, true happiness and fulfillment come not from the absence of negative emotions, but from the ability to navigate and learn from them. By embracing the power of authenticity and vulnerability, you can break free from the positivity trap and unleash your full potential for personal transformation. Chapter 2. Confronting Your Shadows. Within each of us lies a hidden realm, a place where our deepest fears, insecurities, and painful experiences reside. These shadows are the aspects of ourselves that we often try to ignore, suppress, or hide from the world. However, it is only by confronting and acknowledging these shadows that we can truly begin the process of personal growth and transformation. The first step in confronting your shadows is to recognize that they exist. This may seem obvious, but many of us have become so skilled at denying or avoiding our negative emotions that we may not even be aware of their presence. Pay attention to the thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that you try to push away or cover up. These are clues to the shadows that lurk beneath the surface. Once you've identified your shadows, the next step is to explore them with curiosity and compassion. This can be a challenging and uncomfortable process, as it requires facing the parts of yourself that you may have spent years trying to avoid. However, it's important to remember that your shadows are not inherently bad or shameful. They are simply aspects of your humanity that need to be acknowledged and integrated. One powerful technique for exploring your shadows is journaling. Set aside time each day to write freely about your thoughts, feelings, and experiences, without judgment or censorship. Allow yourself to express the fears, doubts, and painful memories that you may have been carrying around for years. As you write, try to observe your shadows with a sense of detachment, as if you were an impartial witness. Another effective tool for confronting your shadows is meditation. By sitting quietly and focusing on your breath, you create space for your shadows to arise without getting caught up in them. When difficult emotions or memories surface, simply acknowledge them without trying to push them away. Over time, this practice can help you develop a greater sense of acceptance and self-compassion. It's also important to seek support from others as you confront your shadows. This could mean working with a therapist, joining a support group, or confiding in a trusted friend or family member. Sharing your struggles with others can help you feel less alone and provide valuable perspective and guidance. As you begin to shine a light on your shadows, you may find that they start to lose their power over you. By acknowledging and accepting these parts of yourself, you can begin to integrate them into your sense of self in a healthy way. This doesn't mean that your fears or insecurities will disappear entirely, but rather that you'll develop a greater capacity to cope with them and even learn from them. Confronting your shadows takes courage, patience, and a willingness to be uncomfortable. It's a process that requires ongoing commitment and self-reflection. However, the rewards of this work are immeasurable. By facing your shadows head-on, you can develop a deeper sense of self-awareness, resilience, and authentic self-expression. You may find that as you confront your shadows, new challenges and obstacles arise. This is a natural part of the growth process, and it's important to meet these challenges with the same sense of curiosity and compassion that you bring to your shadows. Remember that growth is not a linear process, and setbacks are inevitable. What matters most is your willingness to keep showing up and doing the work. Ultimately, confronting your shadows is a powerful act of self-love and self-acceptance. It's a way of honoring your whole self, including the parts that you may have been taught to hide or be ashamed of. By embracing your shadows, you open yourself up to a greater sense of wholeness, authenticity, and connection with others. The path of unfiltered growth requires a willingness to face the darkest parts of ourselves. It's a journey that can be difficult and uncomfortable at times, but it's also one that leads to profound transformation and liberation. By confronting your shadows with courage and compassion, you can unlock your full potential and live a life of greater meaning, purpose, and joy. Chapter 3. Harnessing the Power of Discomfort. Discomfort is an inevitable part of life, yet it's something we often try to avoid at all costs. We seek comfort in familiar routines, relationships, and ways of thinking, even when they no longer serve us. However, true personal growth often lies on the other side of discomfort. By learning to embrace and even seek out discomfort, we can unlock new levels of self-discovery and transformation. The idea of intentionally seeking out discomfort may seem counterintuitive, but it's a powerful tool for personal growth. When we push ourselves beyond our comfort zone, we create space for new experiences, perspectives, and opportunities. We challenge ourselves to grow and adapt in ways that we never would have if we had stayed within the confines of our comfort zone. Start by identifying the areas of your life where you feel most comfortable and complacent. These may be relationships, career paths, or daily routines that have become stagnant or unfulfilling. Ask yourself what small steps you could take to introduce some discomfort into these areas. This could mean having a difficult conversation with a loved one, trying a new hobby or skill, or taking on a challenging project at work. As you begin to embrace discomfort, it's important to approach it with a growth mindset. Rather than seeing discomfort as a threat or a sign of failure, try to reframe it as an opportunity for learning and self-discovery. When you encounter obstacles or setbacks, ask yourself what you can learn from the experience and how you can use it to grow and improve. Practicing mindfulness can be a powerful tool for navigating discomfort. When you find yourself feeling anxious, stressed, or overwhelmed, take a moment to pause and observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Acknowledge the discomfort and remind yourself that it is temporary and that you have the strength and resilience to navigate it. Setting small, achievable goals can also help you build momentum and confidence as you embrace discomfort. Break down larger goals into smaller, more manageable steps, and celebrate each milestone along the way. As you begin to see progress and experience the benefits of stepping outside your comfort zone, you'll naturally become more motivated to take on bigger challenges. It's also important to surround yourself with supportive people who encourage and inspire you to grow. Seek out mentors, friends, or colleagues who have successfully navigated discomfort and achieved their goals. Learn from their experiences and ask for their guidance and support as you navigate your own journey. Embracing discomfort is not about seeking out pain or suffering for its own sake. Rather, it's about recognizing that growth and transformation often require us to face our fears and step into the unknown. By learning to lean into discomfort, we build resilience, adaptability, and a greater sense of self-awareness. Of course, embracing discomfort is not always easy. There will be times when you feel scared, overwhelmed, or tempted to retreat back into your comfort zone. In these moments, be kind and compassionate with yourself. Remind yourself that growth is a process and that setbacks are a natural part of the journey. Ultimately, the power of discomfort lies in its ability to help us become more authentic, resilient, and self-aware. By learning to embrace discomfort, we open ourselves up to new experiences, perspectives, and opportunities for growth. We develop the courage and confidence to face life's challenges head-on and to pursue our dreams with passion and purpose. The path of unfiltered growth requires a willingness to step outside our comfort zone and embrace the unknown. It's a journey that can be scary and uncomfortable at times, but it's also one that leads to profound transformation and fulfillment. By harnessing the power of discomfort, you can unlock your full potential and live a life of greater meaning, purpose, and joy. Chapter 4. Navigating failure and setbacks. Failure and setbacks are an inevitable part of any personal growth journey. No matter how well prepared or motivated we may be, there will always be moments when things don't go according to plan. However, it's how we respond to these challenges that ultimately determines our success and growth. Many of us have been conditioned to view failure as something to be avoided at all costs. We associate it with shame, inadequacy, and a lack of worth. As a result, we often go to great lengths to avoid taking risks or trying new things, for fear of failing and experiencing those painful emotions. However, failure is not the opposite of success. It's a necessary part of the success process. Every successful person has experienced countless failures and setbacks along the way. The difference is that they learn to view failure not as a reflection of their worth, but as an opportunity for growth and learning. Reframing failure in this way requires a fundamental shift in perspective. Instead of seeing failure as a personal defect or a sign that we're not good enough, we can choose to view it as feedback. Every failure contains valuable information about what works and what doesn't, and how we can improve and adapt in the future. When you experience a failure or setback, take a moment to step back and reflect on what happened. What can you learn from this experience? What could you have done differently? What strengths or resources do you have that can help you overcome this challenge? It's also important to practice self-compassion in the face of failure. Beating yourself up or engaging in negative self-talk will only make the experience more painful and difficult to move past. Instead, try to speak to yourself with kindness and understanding, as you would to a good friend who is going through a tough time. Another key to navigating failure is to develop a growth mindset. This means viewing your abilities and intelligence as malleable qualities that can be developed and improved over time. rather than fixed traits that are set in stone. When you approach failure with a growth mindset, you're more likely to see it as an opportunity for learning and development, rather than a reflection of your inherent worth. One practical way to cultivate a growth mindset is to reframe your self-talk around failure. Instead of saying, "I'm a failure," try saying, "I haven't figured this out yet, but I will keep trying until I do." Instead of saying, "I'm not good at this," try saying, "I'm still learning and improving in this area." It's also important to surround yourself with supportive people who believe in your potential and encourage you to keep going, even in the face of setbacks. Seek out mentors, friends, or colleagues who have successfully navigated failure and can offer guidance and perspective. Finally, remember that failure is not the end of the story. Every setback is an opportunity to learn, grow, and come back stronger than before. Some of the most successful and influential people in history have experienced devastating failures and setbacks, only to rise from the ashes and achieve even greater heights. Thomas Edison, for example, famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." J.K. Rowling, author of the Harry Potter series, was rejected by 12 different publishers before finally finding success. And Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was cut from his high school basketball team before going on to become a global icon. These stories remind us that failure is not a permanent state, but a temporary setback on the path to success. By learning to navigate failure with courage, resilience, and a growth mindset, we can transform our setbacks into stepping stones towards our goals and dreams. The path of unfiltered growth is not a straight line, but a winding road filled with twists, turns, and obstacles. Failure and setbacks are an inevitable part of the journey, but they are also opportunities for profound growth and transformation. By learning to embrace failure as feedback, cultivate a growth mindset, and surround ourselves with supportive people, we can develop the resilience and determination to keep moving forward, no matter what challenges we face along the way. Chapter 5. The Art of Authentic Self-Expression. In a world that often rewards conformity and the suppression of our true selves, authentic self-expression can feel like a radical act. We're bombarded with messages about who we should be, how we should look, and what we should want out of life. As a result, many of us learn to hide or diminish parts of ourselves in order to fit in or avoid rejection. However, the cost of this self-betrayal is high. When we constantly shape-shift to meet the expectations of others, we lose touch with our own desires, values, and unique gifts. We may find ourselves feeling unfulfilled, anxious, or disconnected from our sense of purpose and meaning. The path to unfiltered growth requires a commitment to authentic self-expression. This means having the courage to show up as our true selves, even when it feels scary or uncomfortable. It means speaking our truth, setting boundaries, and honoring our own needs and desires, even when they don't align with what others want from us. Cultivating authentic self-expression starts with self-awareness. Take time to reflect on your values, passions, and unique strengths. What lights you up and makes you feel most alive? What are the non-negotiable principles that guide your life and decision-making? What are the gifts and talents that you most want to share with the world? As you gain clarity on these aspects of yourself, start practicing expressing them in small ways. This could mean speaking up in a meeting at work, setting a boundary with a friend or family member, or pursuing a creative project that aligns with your passions. The more you practice authentic self-expression, the more natural and empowering it will feel. One of the biggest barriers to authentic self-expression is the fear of judgment or rejection from others. We worry that if we show up as our true selves, we'll be criticized, ostracized, or deemed unworthy of love and belonging. These fears are understandable, but they're often based on false assumptions about what others think of us. In reality, when we have the courage to be authentic, we often inspire others to do the same. People are drawn to those who are unapologetically themselves, because it gives them permission to do the same. By modeling authentic self-expression, we create a ripple effect of positive change in the world around us. Of course, authentic self-expression doesn't mean disregarding the needs and boundaries of others. It's important to express ourselves in ways that are respectful and compassionate, even when we're speaking hard truths. Authentic self-expression is about honoring our own needs and desires, while also considering the impact of our words and actions on those around us. Another key aspect of authentic self-expression is learning to trust our own intuition and inner wisdom. Often, we have a deep knowing about what's right for us, but we second-guess ourselves or defer to the opinions of others. Authentic self-expression requires a willingness to listen to and act on our own inner guidance, even when it goes against the grain. Developing this kind of self-trust takes practice and patience. Start by paying attention to your body's signals and the quiet voice within. When you're faced with a decision or a challenge, take a moment to tune in and ask yourself what feels most aligned with your authentic self. The more you practice listening to and honoring your intuition, the stronger and more reliable it will become. Authentic self-expression is a lifelong practice, not a destination. There will be times when we fall back into old patterns of people-pleasing or self-doubt. The key is to approach these moments with compassion and curiosity, rather than judgment or shame. Every misstep is an opportunity to learn and recommit to our authentic path. Ultimately, the rewards of authentic self-expression are immeasurable. When we have the courage to show up as our true selves, we tap into a wellspring of creativity, joy, and purpose. We attract relationships and opportunities that are aligned with our deepest values and desires. We inspire others to do the same, creating a world that is more authentic, compassionate, and alive. The path of unfiltered growth is not for the faint of heart. It requires a willingness to face our fears, speak our truth, and honor our own needs and desires, even when it's uncomfortable. But the alternative, a life of self-betrayal and inauthenticity, is far more painful in the long run. By cultivating the art of authentic self-expression, we open ourselves up to a life of greater meaning, connection, and fulfillment. Chapter 6. Redefining success on your own terms. Success is a concept that has been ingrained in our minds since childhood. We're told that success means getting good grades, landing a prestigious job, making a lot of money, and achieving status and recognition. But what if these narrow definitions of success are actually holding us back from true fulfillment and happiness? The truth is, success is a highly personal and subjective concept. What feels like success to one person may not feel that way to another. And yet, so many of us spend our lives chasing after a one-size-fits-all version of success that doesn't actually align with our own values, passions, and unique gifts. Redefining success on your own terms is a crucial step in the path of unfiltered growth. It means taking a step back from societal expectations and external validation, and instead tuning into your own inner wisdom and desires. It means having the courage to chart your own course, even when it deviates from the well-worn path. Start by reflecting on what truly matters to you. What are the experiences, relationships, and contributions that bring you the most joy and fulfillment? What are the values and principles that guide your decision-making and give your life a sense of meaning and purpose? What are the unique strengths and talents that you most want to cultivate and share with the world? As you gain clarity on these aspects of yourself, start challenging the assumptions and beliefs that may be holding you back from pursuing your own version of success. Are you clinging to a narrow definition of success that doesn't actually resonate with you? Are you letting fear of failure or judgment from others dictate your choices and actions? Redefining success often requires a willingness to take risks and step outside of your comfort zone. It may mean pursuing a career path that deviates from what's expected of you, or starting a business that aligns with your passions and values. It may mean prioritizing relationships and experiences over material possessions and external accolades. Of course, redefining success doesn't mean disregarding practical considerations like financial stability and personal responsibility. but it does mean finding ways to align your pursuits with your authentic self, rather than sacrificing your well-being and happiness for the sake of conforming to societal expectations. One practical way to start redefining success is to set goals and intentions that align with your own version of fulfillment and happiness. These goals may look different from the ones you've set in the past, and that's okay. The key is to focus on progress and growth, rather than perfection or external validation. Another important aspect of redefining success is learning to celebrate your own achievements and milestones, even when they don't fit the conventional mold. This could mean taking pride in a creative project that you poured your heart into, even if it doesn't receive widespread recognition. It could mean cherishing a moment of deep connection with a loved one, even if it doesn't come with a tangible reward. Redefining success also means being willing to pivot and adjust your course when necessary. Life is unpredictable, and what feels like success at one stage of your journey may not feel that way forever. The key is to stay attuned to your own needs and desires, and be willing to make changes and course corrections as needed. Cultivating a strong sense of self-trust is essential in this process. When you have a deep connection to your own inner wisdom and intuition, you're better equipped to navigate the ups and downs of redefining success on your own terms. You're less likely to be swayed by external pressures and opinions, and more likely to stay true to your authentic path. Redefining success is a lifelong journey, not a one-time event. It requires ongoing reflection, courage, and a willingness to challenge the status quo. But the rewards of living a life that truly aligns with your own version of fulfillment and happiness are immeasurable. When you have the courage to redefine success on your own terms, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities and opportunities that may have previously felt out of reach. You tap into a wellspring of creativity, joy, and purpose that can't be found by following someone else's blueprint for success. Unfiltered growth is about having the courage to chart your own course, even when it feels scary or unconventional. By redefining success on your own terms, you give yourself permission to live a life that truly lights you up and aligns with your deepest values and desires. And in doing so, you inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of positive change in the world around you. Chapter 7. Building Unshakable Self-Trust. Self-trust is the foundation upon which all personal growth and transformation is built. When we have a deep sense of trust in ourselves, we're better equipped to navigate life's challenges and uncertainties with confidence and resilience. We're more likely to take risks, pursue our passions, and make decisions that align with our authentic selves. However, for many of us, self-trust can feel like an elusive and fleeting concept. We may have experienced betrayals or disappointments in the past that have left us feeling skeptical of our own judgment and intuition. We may have internalized messages from society or our upbringing that have led us to doubt our own worth and capabilities. Building unshakable self-trust requires a conscious and ongoing effort to reconnect with our inner wisdom and listen to the quiet voice within. It means learning to trust our own instincts and intuition, even when they go against the grain of what others may be telling us. One of the key components of self-trust is self-awareness. The more we understand our own thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, the better equipped we are to make decisions that align with our authentic self. This means taking the time to reflect on our values, passions, and unique strengths, as well as the patterns and beliefs that may be holding us back. Cultivating self-awareness can take many forms, such as journaling, meditation, or therapy. The key is to approach this process with curiosity and compassion, rather than judgment or self-criticism. As we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves, we can start to identify the areas where we may be struggling with self-trust and take steps to address them. Another important aspect of building self-trust is learning to set and maintain healthy boundaries. When we're able to communicate our needs and desires clearly and assertively, we send a message to ourselves and others that we value and respect ourselves. This can be challenging, especially if we've been conditioned to prioritize the needs of others over our own. But it's an essential step in developing unshakable self-trust. Setting boundaries may mean saying no to commitments or relationships that don't align with our values or well-being. It may mean speaking up when we feel we're being treated unfairly or disrespected. It may mean taking time for self-care and prioritizing our own needs, even when it feels uncomfortable or selfish. As we practice setting and maintaining healthy boundaries, we start to develop a stronger sense of self-worth and self-respect. We begin to trust that we have the right to advocate for ourselves and make choices that align with our authentic selves, even when others may not understand or agree. Another key component of building self-trust is learning to reframe our self-talk. The way we speak to ourselves has a profound impact on our sense of self-worth and confidence. When we engage in negative self-talk or self-criticism, we erode our own trust in ourselves and our abilities. Reframing our self-talk means paying attention to the thoughts and beliefs that run through our minds and consciously choosing to replace them with more positive and empowering ones. This doesn't mean denying or suppressing negative emotions, but rather acknowledging them with compassion and then shifting our focus to what we can learn and how we can grow from the experience. For example, instead of telling ourselves, "I'm a failure," when we make a mistake, we can reframe it as, "I'm learning and growing, and mistakes are a natural part of the process." Instead of saying, "I'm not good enough," we can remind ourselves, "I am worthy and deserving of love and respect, just as I am." As we practice reframing our self-talk, we start to develop a more resilient and compassionate relationship with ourselves. We begin to trust that we have the strength and capability to handle whatever challenges come our way, and that our worth is not contingent on external validation or perfection. Building unshakable self-trust is a lifelong journey, not a destination. There will be times when we stumble or falter, and that's okay. The key is to approach these moments with curiosity and self-compassion, rather than judgment or self-abandonment. Self-trust is not about being perfect or having all the answers. It's about having the courage to show up as our authentic selves, even when it feels scary or vulnerable. It's about learning to listen to and honor our own needs and desires, even when they deviate from what others may expect of us. When we have unshakable self-trust, we tap into a wellspring of inner strength and resilience that can carry us through even the toughest of times. We're better equipped to navigate life's challenges and uncertainties with grace and confidence, knowing that we have the wisdom and capability to handle whatever comes our way. Unfiltered growth requires a deep and unwavering sense of self-trust. It means having the courage to forge our own path, even when it feels uncomfortable or unconventional. It means learning to listen to and honor our own inner wisdom, even when others may not understand or agree. Building unshakable self-trust is not a one-time event, but rather an ongoing practice of self-awareness, boundary setting, and positive self-talk. By committing to this practice, we give ourselves the gift of a more authentic, fulfilling, and joyful life, one that is truly aligned with our deepest values and desires. Chapter 8. Embracing the journey of unfiltered growth. Unfiltered growth is not a destination, but a lifelong journey of self-discovery, courage, and transformation. It's a path that requires us to shed the layers of conditioning and expectation that have kept us small and disconnected from our authentic self. It's a commitment to facing our fears, speaking our truth, and honoring our deepest desires, even when it feels uncomfortable or unconventional. Throughout this book, we've explored the various facets of unfiltered growth, from confronting our shadows and harnessing the power of discomfort, to redefining success on our own terms and building unshakable self-trust. Each of these elements is a crucial piece of the puzzle, a key that unlocks a deeper level of authenticity and fulfillment. But the journey of unfiltered growth is not a linear one. There will be times when we feel like we're making great strides, and others when we feel like we're taking 2 steps back for every 1 step forward. There will be moments of profound insight and revelation, and others when we feel lost and confused. The key is to approach this journey with a sense of curiosity, compassion, and non-attachment. To recognize that growth is not about perfection or reaching some ultimate destination, but rather about the process of learning, evolving, and becoming more fully ourselves. One of the most important aspects of embracing the journey of unfiltered growth is developing a strong support system. Surrounding ourselves with people who understand and encourage our authentic path, who challenge us to grow and evolve in positive ways, and who provide a safe space for vulnerability and self-expression. This may mean seeking out a therapist, coach, or mentor who can provide guidance and support along the way. It may mean joining a community of like-minded individuals who are also committed to personal growth and transformation. It may mean cultivating deeper, more authentic relationships with the people already in our lives. As we navigate the ups and downs of unfiltered growth, it's also important to develop a toolkit of practices and resources that can support us along the way. This might include journaling, meditation, or other mindfulness practices that help us stay grounded and connected to our inner wisdom. It might include books, podcasts, or other sources of inspiration and insight that keep us motivated and engaged in the process. But perhaps most importantly, embracing the journey of unfiltered growth means learning to trust the process, even when it feels challenging or uncertain. To recognize that every obstacle, every setback, every moment of discomfort is an opportunity for learning and growth. To have faith in our own resilience and capacity for transformation, even when we can't see the path ahead. This kind of trust requires a deep sense of self-love and self-acceptance. A willingness to embrace all parts of ourselves, the light and the shadow, the strengths and the weaknesses, the joys and the sorrows. To recognize that we are whole and worthy, just as we are, even as we continue to evolve and grow. As we cultivate this sense of self-love and self-acceptance, we naturally begin to radiate that energy outward into the world around us. We become a beacon of authenticity and courage, inspiring others to embrace their own unfiltered growth and step into their full potential. This is the true power of unfiltered growth, not just the personal transformation that we experience, but the ripple effect that it has on the world around us. When we have the courage to show up as our authentic selves, to speak our truth and honor our deepest desires, we give others permission to do the same. We create a world that is more compassionate, more connected, more alive. Embracing the journey of unfiltered growth is not for the faint of heart. It requires a willingness to step outside of our comfort zone, to face our fears and doubts head-on, to risk failure and rejection in the pursuit of something greater. But the rewards of this journey are immeasurable: a life of purpose, passion, and authentic connection. A sense of wholeness and fulfillment that can only come from honoring our deepest truth. The path of unfiltered growth is a sacred one, a hero's journey that we are all called to embark upon in our own unique way. It is a path of courage, compassion, and transformation, a path that leads us back home to ourselves and the truth of who we really are. May we all find the strength and wisdom to embrace this journey with open hearts and minds, to trust in the process of growth and transformation, and to step fully into the brilliance of our authentic selves. For in doing so, we not only heal and transform ourselves, but we create a world that is more beautiful, more just, and more alive for all beings. The journey of unfiltered growth is the journey of a lifetime, a sacred invitation to become more fully ourselves and to make a positive impact on the world around us. May we all have the courage to say yes to this invitation and to trust in the unfolding of our own unique path. For in the end, it is not the destination that matters, but the person we become along the way.